Okay, this is a video for the Goldplanar GL850. This is an air motion transfer driver. Most of you out there probably have never heard a headphone with that type of tech. I have never heard it until I got this set. There's another maker called Head, I think, that makes something called Headphones that uses that. It's a fascinating experience that you ought to get your ears on. If you own a set of planar and you're thinking of getting another, well, hold up for a second and really make an effort to get this or hear and wait for other people to give opinions on this, because this is different from planar and it's obvious when you listen to it. And in my opinion, it's superior, but at least give it a listen. Having two dynamic drivers or two planars is kind of redundant. I've already talked about have a planar and a dynamic. Don't double it up. I'm going to say don't do two planars. Check this out before you do that. Let's get right into music. This is this part right here that he's playing. If you're a drummer, this is the shuffle. He's on the ride now. What he's doing right there, we're going to listen to real quick. And here we go. You can hear the opening and closing of the hi-hat and the ride and the cymbal strikes are, the whole thing sounds brilliant. I've not heard cymbals done like this. These drivers are used for the upper frequencies of floor speakers. I believe it, because it's handling that in the most realistic way that I've probably ever heard. Fool in the Rain, Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing. Listen to the 808. Rig on that. Violent Femmes, Please Do Not Go. The bass pulls and releases are very clear. It sounds like he's got his strings slightly slackened a little bit. It's just the way it sounds, and if you watch it on YouTube where they did it live, it looks like he's doing that as well. Basses sometimes do that. It gives it a little more life and changes the tonality. It's EADG basically, but listen to it. Ambition as a Rider, West Coast mixed deep bass hit. I'm also listening to Big Boy, Led Zeppelin When the Levee Breaks, kick drum. It's emphasized. Is it supposed to be? Sweet Dreams, low frequency synthesizers, Led Zeppelin, Days Confused, 4-string bass guitar. Kendrick Lamar, Money Trees, Massive Attack, Angel. I'm listening to that. Dire Straits, Sultan of Swing. Taken to the Streets, Sweet Leaf. Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic. I'm not going to do this as a sample. No More, No More. 7 seconds and 13 seconds as cymbal strikes. I've been talking about it for a long time. The realism on this set is better than really anything that I've got in my possession. The Susvara hasn't been pushed properly, so I can't really give opinion on that. And the HE6SE really hasn't either. As it is right now, this is clearly way above that. But that needs more power, so there's no comparison. This doesn't have the proper power being fed to it. I can't evaluate it. Doing it anyway, because I'm gonna, and I did. This is clearly better than that. In the low-end authenticity, like how real it sounds, and also on the cymbal hits and life and death of those, there's really nothing that touches that. Second audio sample. My brain keeps getting pulled to the drum kits and the cymbals and the hi-hats. Again and again, I keep getting drawn there. There's no distraction if something else is not good and I'm focused on it. Just the quality of the replay there is so absolutely stunning. I don't have any experience. I'm going to compare this as I already did with a 40 millimeter dynamic, the Utopia that I've got. I wasn't a fan of that. I like the clear better, and I was very specific why. This is on a different level, and I'll explain why, because when other people get it, which they will, and they have the Utopia, I want to say, if you listen to this track on both of these sets, you're going to realize that one has got a small dynamic driver that you've heard many times in your life, a dynamic motor structure driver, and you've heard it in hundreds of different quality levels of replay, great, mostly decent, lots of crap. And that flagship 40 millimeter versus this in certain specific moments is clearly on another level. And I'm going to speak to that, but that'll be another video. Get your ears on this. I'm not telling you to go buy it because I just did a video about how people hype stuff. I'm telling you to get your ears on it. And if you listen to music like I do, listen to that music with this and block out the world and what everybody says and just listen to the music. This community around this set is growing and growing based on people's feedback. They paid money and they're huge fans of it, and they're talking about the music that they listen to and the happiness that they get from this. Is everybody happy? No, but I'd like you to tell me what headphone makes everybody happy. I've never run into it since I've been in the hobby. Same goes for IEMs. You find people that like stuff and people that don't, just for the sake of being that guy. I'll be that guy in the other way about this set and say that this is absolutely fascinating. I love it in a good way because it's new, it's different, and it's realistic. And if you can get your ears on it, make great effort to do so. And then ask for them to compare it to stuff that is in its price range or more expensive, and be specific with your requests and listen carefully to the answers. This is educational for you. You get the best answers when you ask good questions. Be specific. Ask about a certain track and a cymbal strike. It's an easy enough thing for a reviewer to do. Ask for a bass line in an easy track that most people would be familiar, or not because you're focusing on the bass guitarist. A good quality replay. And ask for that to be evaluated. And then music on a whole. But if you can ask specific questions, you'll go a long way towards finding satisfaction. In the samples that I gave you, and of course I listened to my go-tos, Black Sabbath Sweet Leaf 2-minute 30-second. The drum play and the bass play is fantastic. Blind Faith, Can't Find My Way Home, cymbal strike at 27 seconds. There's nothing touches this, not yet. Again, like being in the room with the drummer. Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun from 1:16 forward, where it starts to really get its groove. Fucking fantastic. The triangle strike at 39 seconds, America Tin Man. Fucking amazing. Pink Floyd On the Run, 26-58. The gate announcement to get your ticket ready to go to Rome. And the clarity of that progression and the overlap of the next audio sequence that kind of comes in and they overlap. Lower quality transducers make that kind of a blur. Whereas this set and other good sets can kind of separate those two until one is actually being cut out of the mix and the other one is taking its place completely. This gives you that sense of we're done and that's now completely the focus, instead of like it's a blur for 3 or 4 seconds and now you're completely into that sense of those rocket ships going from left to right behind you and giving you very unique and excellent panning cues, unlike really anything else except for like a Chesky Records thing, where the thing's going back in your left and back in your right. The On the Run by Pink Floyd does that for you in the track itself. It's fucking fascinating. So this is the GL850. It's really something you should get your ears on. It's really impressive. It's more expensive than the 2000. It should be, because it sounds better. And it should sound better because it's more expensive. So that's a GL850. I'll probably be doing maybe 2 more videos about it. One will be a comparison with a dynamic driver and another planar, because this is not planar, this is different tech. I'll do 3 different types in the same video. If you want me to listen to a specific thing, if you made it this far, I don't know how many minutes I'm into this video. If you made it this far, this is your chance to say, can you please listen to, and I'll put it in my next video. If you see somebody make a comment and you support that, thumb it up. Be specific. Give me something that highlights an instrument. where you think that it shows the quality, the texture, the layering, all of those terms that people use, and you think that that's a great example, put it under the video and I'll take your music and listen to it and compare it with another item that you think it's going to be the Utopia, this, and if I can get the Jot Yote 2, then I'll go ahead and do the Susvara, but if I can't get the power, I won't. I'll maybe do the 2000, a planar, AMT, and then the Utopia, because it's a dynamic driver that's well liked. I like it. I just think the Clear's better. And then you tell me what you want to hear. Fine. And then compare the three, and why do I think one's better than the other? Explain that to you, because someday in the future you're going to be able to confirm that for yourself and go back and say, that dude's nuts, but he's got good ears. I want to be pinned down. I want you to look at that board, and I want you to write down those timestamps, and I want you to listen to it and listen to my claims. I'm not saying something's wide. I'm not saying something's deep. I'm not saying layering and texturing and vague things that you can't pin down. I'm giving you timestamps and audio samples where I think that something is better than another. Use that info to your benefit. Use the specificness and use it to your advantage, because that holds other people where you can say, well, he said this actually. He was really specific. Could you check that and tell me what you think? Because as of now, 8-7 years, I've never had someone come in and say, I disagree with that particular thing. They don't like the music. That's not their song. But about the specifics, this is just a cymbal. You know, that's it. Or it's a bass guitar. That's it. I focus my brain on that much easier, because some stuff does that clearly better than other things. This would be exceptional level in replaying instruments in an authentic manner that is very uncommon, and I just haven't heard it. Leave your comments below with the samples you want, and if you see somebody leave a comment and you think that's a good one, click it, thumb it underneath, and I'll do that one, and you will have say into what takes place in the next video. And I'm out. Really impressive stuff. What a fucking company, man. Planar, air motion transfer, and that other beastly thing is a ribbon driver. Holy crap. Good times. I'm out. Okay, this is the opening for the video for the GL850. I'll try to keep it brief. This is what they look like close up in hand, because I'll be putting them on my head in the video. They are, in their size, in design is completely different. The driver is air motion transfer versus planar, but the size is not that different. The headbands seem to be pretty close to the same. The cable is really cool. I like it a lot. It's got no microphonics. It's a mini XLR type. Red would be R. Oh, left. Going this way. Most notable to this, also that's going to mini XLR. It's got an adapter so that you can go stereo plug if you want. I'm doing mini XLR. The GL2000 also went XLR and was adjusted to 80 dB, and they were listened, trying to do apples to apples as much as I can. One of the more notable things, besides I really like this, this is going to be, is it worth the money? Does it sound good? I definitely think so. Is it worth the money? That's the market decides that. I'm thinking as I talk right now. That case right there can be, it's made in China, it can be sourced and bought in bulk, and it comes with a $600 headphone, and my $6,000 Susvara comes in a, not this, which this is really cool. I like this. This is proper. This feels like it's going to do the job. It feels, this coming in it with the nice cable, it feels like I bought something nice. The Susvara is something that's, I don't know. The ZMF came with a case like that. Does it matter? When you can buy this in China for a certain amount of money and in bulk, and a company like this can do it, and then Hi-Fi Man that's selling $6,000, $3,000, $4,000 set can eat a little bit of that profit and make the customer feel better and keep it safer than in that box. So yeah, it's important to me. Now let's get to the music.